Tmux. So I get quite a few questions on stream about, hey, what's that thing you're doing with all those different windows right there? Is that Vim? Is that your terminal emulator? But it's actually Tmux. So I use Tmux pretty heavily for my whole life. I can't work a day without it. So I'm gonna make a quick video breaking down my personal use of Tmux, some tips I think that might help you adopt Tmux. We'll break down my configuration for Tmux, and finally I'll show you some of the scripting capabilities of Tmux. So first things first, if you want to know about Tmux, we must know what it is. So man Tmux. Tmux is a terminal multiplexer. It enables a number of terminals to be created, accessed, and controlled from a single screen. It may be detached from a screen and continue running in the background and later reattached. So what does it all mean? For me, it's a lot easier just to actually see things in action. So let's do that. So first things first, since Tmux is a terminal multiplexer, it kind of goes around your terminal emulator. So when you're typing regular commands, right, Tmux isn't doing anything here. How do you tell, hey, Tmux is a command for you, actually? Well, you have to send a special command first called a prefix here. So you would say prefix and then some command, then Tmux says, whoa, you're trying to talk to Tmux now. Everyone might have a different prefix. The default is Control B. I use Control \. So here, let me show you what the keys I'll be typing are. So first, let's start a brand new Tmux. Tmux new. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just take a look at all the windows. So you can say prefix W. So at the bottom you can see it was Control \. That's my personal prefix key. And then W. And that just shows me all of the windows. So we only have one window right now in our main session here. So this window right here, it's 0. And it's unlabeled. So let's label this thing. How do you label things? Well, simply prefix comma. Now down here you can see at the bottom it says rename window. So I might name this thing called notes. Lovely. Now I can open up some notes. Beautiful, there's some notes. Well, maybe I want a different window. So if you do prefix C, brand new window now. If I go prefix W, I can look between the two windows. And you can always go up and down between the windows with J and K, just Vim style. Here's my notes. Here's my new window. So let's name this new window. We already know what that is. It's prefix comma. So let's name this one code. Open up some code here. .py. Beautiful. So now up here we've got some code. And then up here we've got some notes. Beautiful. I can keep myself totally separate. But what do you say what if you want another screen split in this exact place? Well, you could do that as well. So Tmux allows you to split your screens similar to how Vim is. The only difference is in Vim, you're splitting screens and continuing to edit. Tmux, I can split the screen and I can do a totally different action. I can be running, shell commands over here. I can be running a server, whatever I want. So the way you split is the default way you split is prefix % to do a vertical split, prefix double quote, and we do a horizontal split. So you see now we've got these three beautiful little splits. So, right here, I could do whatever I want, right? I could just be doing, a little cow say, hello, beautiful. Okay, what do I want to do down here? I want a little aquarium. We're living the dream now. Okay, so that's my basic usage for it here. Let me kind of break down. I would suggest looking up some sort of like Tmux shortcut key. I mean, for me, truthfully, all I really need to know how to do is just, you can always exit a window, kill a pane. All I think you really know how to do is make new windows, make new panes, move around the panes, exit. So let's move on to the next thing here. So if you're going to be using Tmux, I think there's a couple things that can help you in the beginning, making your life a little bit easier. So here's 3 shortcuts that I've added for myself. They're TN, TA, and TT. So one thing that I've personally done is I've actually moved my Tmux configuration from the default location. The default location is just the root, your home folder, .tmux.conf. However, I don't want anything in my home folder typically, so I've put mine inside of a .config folder instead of a Tmux folder, and then inside .tmux.config. So because of this, what I call Tmux new or Tmux attach, I actually want to point to that. So that's what this F is right here. You might not need that. And then this U right here is an extra option saying, hey, let's run in UTF-8 mode. I don't want to remember to type these commands the whole time, so I've aliased these. First of all, Tmux new is already too long. Tmux-u-f tilde/.conf.tmux.tmux.conf, that's way too long. So I just alias these two, so it's a simple TN for a new session, TA to attach to an existing one. And then I also have a little shortcut to my Tmux config so I can do a little bit faster editing of my config. This makes my life, I think, a lot easier. So right now we're not inside of a Tmux. So I'll hit TN, boom, I'm inside of a new Tmux window. Here, watch this. I can detach right here. I escape. There's no more window here. Can I attach? There's no sessions. Okay, this time I reattach, I'll close my terminal. Guess what though? My Tmux session is still there. TA, we're back in business here. Lovely. So that's that ability we were talking about. One of the big bonuses of Tmux is that if your terminal you accidentally exited or it crashes, you can just reattach to it and you'll have all of your different windows and sessions there. So with those three little shortcuts in mind, let's take a look at my Tmux config. We can use TT, as we just showed before, to show it. Now, my config is not crazy. It's not too long. And truthfully, I only made it longer for this video. So the first things first, we were talking about that prefix key. So I alias my prefix key to control backslash, like I said right here. So that's what we're doing right here. We're saying set globally the prefix to control backslash. We also need to make sure that we bind that control backslash to the send prefix command. This way, if we're doing any scripting, it'll also know that, hey, control backslash is for that. Next, we're going to unbind the default. I said the default was control B. Here is us unbinding that default here. So you can do whatever you want. I see people do. I've seen control A, control W, whatever feels natural for you. Me, I chose control backslash because my Vim leader key is backslash. So I thought it's nice to be like Vim backslash Tmux control backslash. The same way to trigger, my typical shortcuts or whatever is both on the backslash here. Now, another really helpful thing I find is a quick way to reload your Tmux config. I don't want to have to remember to type Tmux source file and pointing to my Tmux configuration here. So all I did was bind the R to running source file, and we give ourselves a nice little message saying fresh config. So right here, if I was to say prefix R, you'll see that at the bottom it said fresh Tmux config right there. Now, one thing to note about your reloading your Tmux configuration is that it's not going to always reload exactly how you expect. For instance, if you set a color for something with a variable and then you remove that variable, you're not going to see that color go back to the default. You actually need to restart a new Tmux session to see that here. So sometimes if you notice settings aren't taking and you've already resourced your Tmux conf, it's probably good to just restart a new session here. We maybe look at an example of that in a second. Now, another thing for all of the VI users out there is when you're in copy mode in Tmux, because look, here's copy mode here. It's just leader open square bracket. I can copy all of this stuff here. I want the same key bindings as Vim. Now you can do Vim. I think there's some Emacs ones here too. So whatever personal editor you're using, I would explore this. Another nice thing that I personally like for my Vim life is the ability to move around all of my split panes with Vim-like actions here. So let's say I split these windows up right here. I want to go over here and boom, I've got these 4 windows. And now you can always rotate through panes with prefix O. See, I'm just rotating around. But what if I don't want to rotate all the way back around? You can always just do prefix and then the Vim direction here. So you see I'm on this window right here. I want to go to this side. So all I'm going to do is just prefix H. I want to go down. Prefix J. Whoops. Prefix J. There you go. So something that I like to use, even though O works pretty okay as well. Now, another thing that you need to have, I think, is whenever you have multiple panes, it's nice to know what pane you're on. So if you open it right now, you'll notice it's red. Look when I go to the other side. Now, green is at the top and red is at the bottom. Now, when I go to this side, red's at the top, green's at the bottom. This is just telling me which pane is active. So the red's over here. I know it's on this side. Right now, I know it's over here. It's down here. So I changed the personal color of this to just this red color, a nice red, but you can make it whatever you like. Now, this is a good example of something that if you update this configuration, let's say I wanted to go back to the default. I don't like the red. Let's go to the default here. This is where reloading a configuration will not result with what you expect here. So watch this. Reload the configuration, going back and forth. We're getting nothing here. You know why? We set a variable saying, here's the pane border style. Then we removed it. We didn't specifically unset that variable. The only way to get this actually to work would be we would actually have to kill our session and then restart here. So let's open a new Tmux window. Let's split now. And now you'll see it's white and green on the default. Now, that only happens when you're actually removing values from your configuration. It doesn't happen if you're changing a value. So for instance, if I was to open that thing back up here and reset it to red, this actually should pick up here. So boom, split, it's red. I could go over here, change this color right here to, I don't know, what's a nice color for me? I might like a nice, a teal. Boom. Let's reload this. And I have to first exit the split here, but then split one more. Nope, didn't work. Let me try again. Fresh Tmux config. Nope, not working how I expect. Depressed here. There you go. You got it loaded on the split side. There we go. Nice. Yeah, so that's a nice little thing for your border pane. You can control a lot of the styling. You can change the thickness of it. I could change the back. I could make this the background instead, There you go. Now it's a big, thick blue line here. I'm going to keep it with the foreground, though. Okay, next is the status bar. So I typically don't like a status bar for Tmux. I don't like really a Vim status bar. I just want a more minimal screen here. So I keep mine off. However, that sounds kind of boring, for a video here. So I added a couple of other settings to show people some things you could do with the status bar here. So truthfully, if this was real life, That's where my Tmux config ends. We're done. That's all I really typically use right now in my current life. I've had more, I've removed things, but that works pretty good for me. But here's some extra stuff we added around the status bar for just a little bit of fun. So first, if I'm going to have a status bar, I got to be able to toggle it on and off. So here I am saying, let's bind the key capital S, setting the option of the status on. Lowercase s, set the option for status off. So now I can trigger it on and off. So here we go. If I was to say prefix capital S, boom, you can see my status bar. Now my status bar does not look like normal people's status bars because, you know, I can't do anything normal, okay? I've got to do things my own way here. So I've actually hooked up my status bar to my own personal Twitch chat. So it always pulls in the last chat message. I could actually just add a new fake message over here. So watch this. Off screen, I'm going to pretend that someone is sending a message here. Here's a message that someone sent. And you should see this update. There you go. Tommy Two Toes put a P. There you go. You know, missed an hour a week this far. Beautiful. Gorgeous. So I'll kind of break down how we've done that here. So the first two things was just turning the status on and off, right? You know, capital S for off, capital S for on. Gorgeous. Now, I can also move my status bar up and down. Now, I mapped this to I and U. I kind of wanted it to be J and K. However, J and K is how I move between splits. So I just did it I and U above it. So it's kind of close to J and K. It feels kind of natural to me. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's say I want to move the status bar up. Oh, sorry, wrong key. There you go. Now it's at the top. Let's move it to the bottom. There you go. Lovely. Okay, so how did I get this custom status bar here? Well, you can really customize any part of the status bar. There's three sections. There's a left side, a right side, and there's like a current window status section. So I turn off the current window status. I don't want to know anything about the current window. Don't show me the current window. That bothers me. I made the background blue. I made the foreground blue. If you do try and show me that current window, it's going to be blue on blue, and I'm not even going to be able to see it. That's just a personal thing for me. Now, here's the fun stuff right here, which is, here, actually, I'll separate these out a little bit, is first I turn off the right side. So you'll notice over here, there's nothing on the right side of my bar below me. I only have stuff on the left side. So I say, hey, take the right status, make it length 0, take its actual value, and just make it a blank string. This kind of just essentially gets rid of the right status. Next, over here, I'm building out a left status. Now, the left status can be updated at a regular interval. Tmux will continue to call whatever you've told to assign that left status. And the default interval, I believe, is 15. I want it to be 1 because if someone's messaging me a new message, I don't want to wait 15 seconds. I want to get that within that second. So I changed the status interval to 1 here. And then I've said, hey, take that left length and make it 200 here. Just extend it out a little bit longer for longer messages here. Now, here's the actual code to set it. It's really not that crazy at all. So this reads the most recent Twitch viewer message and displays it in the status bar. So for me, I save all of my Twitch chat into a little log file locally called usermessages.log. So I've put that right here as a variable. I have green as a variable too because, you know, I just wanted to do that. And we have two very basic scripts right here. All I'm doing is tail-1 on message log right here. And then I'm setting out everything after the colon. And then right here, I'm doing everything before the colon. So I'm just replacing. I'm saying, hey, find the colon, everything after that colon, replace that with just the colon. Hey, anything up to the colon, take that, get rid of it. So what this does is this grabs the last user, this grabs the last message. If you look down at our status bar at the bottom, this allows us to color the user different from the actual message right here. So now here's the actual calling of the script. It's actually not too crazy. So we're saying let's set globally the status left. And first we're saying the foreground is going to be white and then just pass in the variable of that last message right here. So right here, this last user is going to be white. And then over here, we're saying, hey, the foreground, let's make this part green, and then say, make that last message right here. So you can learn more about this syntax inside the Tmux config. Whoa, inside the Tmux man page. But it's not the most intuitive syntax, but it's not too hard to get around. So that's what gives us the ability right here to see these messages. Let's simulate what it was like if some other people chatted to us. For instance, right here's just a new message here. Sheep mine. There you go. eSheep said sheep mine and put a little emote and boom, I can see that at the bottom being pulled in every second. Lovely. So that's kind of the basics. That's my Tmux configuration. It's my basic way I use it and, you know, a couple shortcuts. Let me show you now some fun stuff. Let's actually write a script in Tmux to, you know, do something fun. So what we first should do is over here, let's just make a new script. So I'm going to call this first. Let me hide my status bar. Whew. So first, let's just call this fun. Okay. Let's make a little shell script here. So I'll make a little shebang first. I'll say bin.sh. And then we're going to build a Tmux session with a bunch of Tmux windows and then split some panes and run some programs. I use this for times when, I keep opening up the same setup every day. I want notes over here. I want some code right here. I want some docs right here. And I want this other shell script running over here. Well, I don't want to every day go new window, name it this, new window, name it this, split the window, run the script. So you can actually just write a script that does that for you every day. So first, let's say Tmux, new window. And what I'm going to do here is the session that we're going to create is going to be called fun, right? That sounds good to me. And let's name our first window ASCII Aquarium, because that's fun. Can I spell aquarium? I think I did it. And we're going to say -D. We're going to detach this for now. We're saying don't actually make this the main window for now. I might be able to remove this D. We'll find out. Next, let's make another brand new window. Actually, let's do some fun stuff here. I'm going to make this one, detach it, do a bunch of other work, and then reattach to it. So here, let's do that reattaching right now to show you what that's like. So over here, we'll just say Tmux select window. Which one are we going to select? Well, to me, the target window I'm looking for is inside the fun session, the ASCII Aquarium. Beautiful. Now, what do we want to do? We want to take that Tmux window. We want to use always UTF-8 mode for me. I'm going to attach, and then the target is fun. Great. So what this does, creates a new ASCII Aquarium, detaches it, then reselects it, and then reattaches to it. Great. Let's look at what this thing does. So first of all, I'm in Tmux right now. Let me exit. I'm not in Tmux. Try to attach to a session. No sessions here. I need to make this script executable, so we'll do a quick little, +x fun. And let's run this right now. Ooh, is it fun or fun.sh? I think it's just fun. Nope. We're making one called fun. And I messed up on something here because I said new window here. This needs to be new session. You fool. New session, s.fun, name a window, ASCII Aquarium, detach. There we go. Let's try this one more time. /fun. Now, what happened here? Something happened. I'm actually in Tmux right now. You can see it's called ASCII Aquarium. We've done it. We've had Tmux, create a new session, name the window, reattach to it. Very fancy. Well, let's add some more things to it. So inside of here, let's add some more windows here. So I can say Tmux, new window, and which window I want to attach to? Well, I'm going to target the fun window. And then what's the name of this window going to be? Well, first, let's say -D. -D here says, don't target, don't select this window, okay? We're creating a new window. Don't select it. Don't worry about it right now. -D, and then let's name it. And we'll name one called weather. I like to pull up the weather every day. You know what I mean? Not really, but let's pretend in this case I do. Let's make one more here. We're going to attach to fun. This time, let's call this one matrix here. So now, if I ran that same script again, you should see 3 windows now. ASCII Aquarium, weather, and matrix. Gorgeous. Let's keep adding some fun stuff. So what happens if you actually wanted to run a script inside one of these? Well, you got to say Tmux, send keys. Who do you want to send keys to? Well, I would like to send keys to, well, inside of fun, ASCII Aquarium. And what do you want to send to it? Well, let me send ASCII Aquarium. And let me just say enter. You got to enter in, okay? So when we open up, we're going to say send keys to fun ASCII Aquarium, and then we're actually going to reattach that ASCII Aquarium. So here, let's check this out now. /fun, boom, boom. ASCII Aquarium runnings here. Our 2 other windows are doing nothing. Gorgeous. And we're out of Tmux again. Let's add some more things. So for the weather one, we're going to target, instead of fun ASCII Aquarium, we'll target fun weather. And we'll just curl wttr.in, get that sick weather going. Let's do some matrix too. So on the matrix one, we're going to run the classic command tmatrix. It's C matrix times 10. Let's line up our enters just to be a little OCD. So there we go. Let's run this now. /fun, boom. And we've got 3 windows running 3 separate scripts right here. Okay, we've got the ASCII Aquarium right here. I go to the next window, the weather. I've got some gorgeous weather here. And then boom, over here, we've got gorgeous T-matrix rain raining down on us. But we want to take it a step further. So let's keep going. Now remember, you can always do prefix, colon, and then run Tmux commands. Kind of similar to Vim's, execute mode here. So I'm going to say kill session, and let's keep going. So what I want to do now in this T-matrix window, and I want to do some more fun stuff, right? We can have windows, but I want to have split panes there, okay? I want to show people that I'm a real hardcore hacker. So what we're going to do is we're going to say Tmux, we're going to say select window. Which window we're going to select? We're going to target that fun.matrix. What are you going to do to it? Well, I would personally like to say Tmux.splitWindow-H. Let's split it horizontally, selected in that split window. Notice how we said split window. We didn't say dash D here. We're actually going to visit this split window, run a command on it. If I did dash D here, I'm pretty sure you will stay on the same Tmatrix window. So then we're going to say Tmux, send keys. Who are we sending keys to? Obviously, we're sending keys over to fun.matrix, similar to before on a specific window. And the message we're going to send is going to be Tmatrix, but this time, let's give it a nice red. Make sure we enter. Let's keep our splitting. Now, instead of splitting horizontally, let's split vertically this time. That sounds nice. And let's do something similar here. Instead of red, maybe we'll do a yellow. Finally, let's split one more time because I can't stop. I need all 4 windows. And yellow, we got to have the blue in here, I guess. Blue feels like the final one. Gorgeous. Now, with splitting these windows, we take a window, we split it, we split it, we split it. I want all of the windows to be lined up in a four-piece grid. So I'm going to say Tmux, select layout, tiled. And this will put it in that 4 grid right here. And we're done right now. Remember, because the rest of it says grab the ASCII Aquarium, reattach to that. So let's run this script now and see what we've done. I say fun, and boom, I've got my ASCII Aquarium. That looks pretty good. Let's go look at our weather. Gorgeous weather. And then finally, look at that gorgeousness. Look at that Tmux, Tmatrix, beautiful here. So that's my personal breakdown of how I use Tmux. Maybe we'll make some more videos breaking down some other features, but really Tmux, it's not that crazy to get started here. Truthfully, I mean, I learned like 6 commands and I used it for 3 years, probably off 6 commands alone. I found it very useful, but there's quite a few powerful things you can do. So hopefully that helps, and we will do more of this in the future. Later.